The morning sun spilled golden light across the college gates, making the entire campus look like something straight out of a dream. Your heart fluttered as you stepped through the entrance for the very first time, adjusting the strap of your bag nervously. The pathway was buzzing with students, some laughing loudly in groups, some hurrying with maps and timetables in their hands, and a few already looking stressed out about where their classes were. You barely had a chance to take it all in before a familiar squeal cut through the air. Wine, there you are. I was going to faint if I didn't find you soon. You turned and saw Alia, your overly dramatic best friend, waving as if she had been stranded on an island for years. Her bracelets jingled as she ran up, nearly crashing into a freshman carrying a stack of books. It's literally been 10 minutes, Alia, not even 10. Do you know how traumatic 10 minutes can be on the first day of college? I almost died. Mine died. Before you could roll your eyes, another voice joined in full of teasing amusement. If she died every time she was dramatic, we would be attending her funeral daily. Armand, your friend with the sharp tongue and mischievous grin, strolled toward you, sipping from a water bottle like he had all the time in the world. His uniform shirt was half tucked in, making him look effortlessly rebellious, and his eyes gleamed with mischief. Mina trailed behind him, adjusting her glasses, and like Alia and Armand, she carried herself with quiet composure. She raised an eyebrow at the scene before sighing. I told you all we would meet here, but clearly listening to me is always optional. Alia clutched her chest dramatically. See, this is why I need wine. She gets me. She's my emotional support in this cruel place. Armand snorted, tossing his empty water bottle into a nearby bin. More like emotional cues. Don't drag wine down with you, drama queen. The banter made you laugh, easing some of your nerves. For a moment, it felt less like the terrifying first day of college and more like another one of your regular hangouts. But the pace didn't last long. As you adjusted your bag and started walking toward the main building, Armand suddenly splashed a few drops of water from his fresh bottle onto your arm. Armand, you gasped, laughing as the cold droplets hit your skin. He grinned weakly, holding the bottle like a weapon. What? It's hot. I'm just helping you cool down. Alia clapped her hands like she was watching a live action drama. Oh no, he's declared war. Why are you going to let that insult go unanswered? Your lips curved into a playful smirk. Without hesitation, you yanked out your own bottle from your bag, unscrewing the cap. Fine, if it's war you want. Before Armand could react, you flicked the bottle forward, sending a spray of water straight at him. He yelled, dodging to the side, and that was when everything went wrong. The water missed Armand completely and landed squarely on someone else. The entire corridor seemed to freeze in place. Students halted mid-step, conversations cut short, and all eyes shifted to the man standing at the center of your accidental disaster. Your smile faltered instantly, the laughter died in your throat. Your heart skipped a beat as you whispered to yourself, "Oh no, who did I just?" The water splashed across the stranger's shirt and hair, dripping down the collar of his perfectly pressed black button-up. He stood completely still, his tall frame towering above the crowd as icy silence spread through the corridor. Students who had been chatting seconds ago now froze, eyes darting between you and him. Your stomach dropped. Oh my god, no, no. Of all people, it had to be him. Why isn't anyone laughing? Why are they all staring like this? Alia's jaw hung open, her hand covering her mouth. Mina looked as if she were silently praying you wouldn't faint. And Arman, he had gone suspiciously quiet, which was never a good sign. The man slowly turned his head toward you, his dark, sharp eyes locked on yours, and for a second it felt like you couldn't breathe. He didn't shout, he didn't even move, he just stared, a stare so cold it made your palms sweat. Why do I feel like I have just committed a crime? He's not saying anything. That's scarier than if he yelled. Your legs moved before your brain caught up. You fumbled inside your pocket, pulling out a folded napkin, and approached him carefully. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to throw it at you. It was supposed to be my friend. If you don't mind, can I dry your hair? Your voice trembled. Every word felt heavier under the weight of his gaze. You stretched out your hand with the napkin, your fingers shaking slightly. The man remained silent, his eyes boring into you like he could read every nervous thought running through your head. Why is he looking at me like that? Just say something, even a watch where you are going would be better than the silence. Gathering what little courage you had left, you stepped closer and raised the napkin toward his damp hair. But just as the fabric brushed the ear near him, his hand shot up swift and sharp. He grabbed your wrist, yanked it away, and dropped it as if your touch burned. You stumbled back, your heart hammering. How rude! The words slipped out under your breath, but apparently not quite enough. His head tilted almost imperceptibly, his jaw tightening at your comments. He gave you one last unreadable look before brushing past you. The crowd partly instantly to give him way. His shoes echoed against the polished floor until he disappeared around the corner. The moment he was gone, the corridor erupted again. Whispers buzzed everywhere. Alia clutched your arm dramatically. Why and what were you thinking? You just you just threw water on the scariest guy I have ever seen. He looked like he was about to eat you alive. Armand finally found his voice, smirking, though his eyes still held a trace of nervousness. Well, on the bright side, if we get expelled on the first day, at least it will be a memorable story. Mina crossed her arms, though her lips twisted in amusement. I warned you too about playing around in the corridor. Actions, consequences, still. She glanced in the direction he left. That was intense. You swallowed hard, still shaken by his presence. Who was that man? He wasn't a student, not with that aura, but he can't be a professor either, right? Professors don't look that young or that terrifying. You forced a nervous laugh, trying to shake it off, but deep down, the memory of his icy stare lingered like a shadow. The classroom buzzed with nervous chatter, desks scraping against the floor as students claimed their seats. You sat between Alia and Mina, still trying to push the memory of the water incident out of your mind. Alia leaned close, whispering like you were in the middle of a scandal. What if he's like the Den or some mafia undercover? I swear he didn't look normal, Vine. You groaned softly, covering your face. Please stop. I already want to evaporate and disappear. Armand sprawled comfortably in the seat behind you, leaned forward with a mischievous grin. If he's a professor, let's just hope he doesn't teach us. Otherwise, wine is doomed. Mina, flipping through her new notebook, muttered without looking up. Knowing our luck, he probably will be. And then the door opened, the room instantly hushed. The sound of footsteps filled the silence, slow and deliberate. When you looked up, your heart nearly stopped. There he was, the same man whose shirt you had drenched like that morning. His hair, now dry and neatly styled, framed his sharp jawline. His expression was unreadable, yet his presence was enough to silence an entire room. He carried a stack of books under one arm, his black watch glinting under the light as he set them down on the desk. Your body froze. No way, no way, it's him. Tell me this is a nightmare. He scanned the class with cold, piercing eyes, and then, inevitably, his gaze landed on you. For a moment, it felt like the entire classroom blurred away, leaving just the two of you, your chest tightening under his stare. He didn't speak, didn't react, but the flicker of recognition in his eyes was enough to send that rushing to your cheeks. Finally, he set the books aside and spoke, his voice low and firm. Good morning, I'm Professor Joan Jungkook. I'll be handling your literature and critical thinking courses this semester. You nearly choked on your breath, Professor. Alia gasped beside you, whispering loudly enough for half the room to hear. That same you splashed water on the professor wine. We are doomed. Armand chuckled under his breath, enjoying your torment. Professor Joan has a nice ring to it, almost as nice as Professor Scary Eyes. You shot him a glare, but your focus snapped back when Jungkook began the lecture. His tone was calm, but cutting every word precise. He asked questions like he expected nothing less than perfection, his eyes moving across the room with an intensity that made several students shrink in their seats. And then, inevitably, his gaze landed on you again. You, the one in the third row, stand. Your heart plummeted into your stomach. Slowly, you rose, feeling the weight of every student's curious stare. Define allegory in the context of modern literature. Your throat went dry. Allegory? Allegory, the word danced at the edge of your memory, but your brain betrayed you. Oh God, why this question? Why me? He's punishing me, isn't he? This is because of the water. You fumbled with words trying to piece together a half decent answer. Your voice trembled, and halfway through, you paused, cheeks burning. To your surprise, she didn't mock you. He didn't dismiss you either. Instead, his eyes lingered on you, sharp but not cruel. After a brief pause, he gave the smallest note. Continue. That subtle encouragement gave you just enough courage to finish your answer. When you finally sat back down, your knees were trembling, but his gaze had already moved on to another student. From that on, the pattern began. He remained cool, distant, and professional, but there were moments, tiny, fleeting moments that told you he noticed you, like when your pen rolled off the desk, and before you could bend down, his hand was already there, placing it silently back in front of you. Or when you struggled to explain a theory during another lecture, and he allowed an uncharacteristic pause, giving you time to gather your thoughts instead of cutting you off. And once, when another professor nearly scolded you for submitting an assignment late, Chunguk intervened quietly, saying, I've already received it. Even though you knew you hadn't turned it in yet. Why does he do that? He's strict, almost heartless in class, but then he does these little things. Does he even realize how confusing he is? The distance between you two remain, but Under the layers of coolness, something unspoken began to grow. The weeks slipped by faster than you realized, and with each lecture, Jungkook Joon became more of an enigma. He was mercilessly sharp in class. His critiques cutting yet fair. He expected precision, clarity, and discipline, but never once did he belittle anyone. His intelligence was undeniable, the kind that left you quietly in awe even when he intimidated you. How can someone be this composed all the time? He talks like he's carrying the weight of the world, but never lets it slip. He's cold but not cruel. Despite your efforts, you found yourself watching him more than you should, admiring the way he spoke with such conviction, the neatness of his handwriting on the board, even the subtle way he adjusted his sleeves before beginning class. And though he tried to maintain a distance, there were moments when his eyes lingered on you just a second too long. Moments that made your chest tighten. It was past 10 p.m. when you found yourself slumped over a desk in the near empty library. Your assignment half finished, the silence was broken only by the scratching of your pen and the occasional sigh of frustration. You rubbed your temples, staring helplessly at a paragraph that refused to make sense. Why did I think college would be fun again? I can't even structure one proper analysis. Your thesis is too broad. The deep, familiar voice made you flinch. You turned, and there he was, Professor Jones, standing with a book in his hand, his eyes glancing over your paper. You nearly fell off your chair. Professor, I didn't know you stayed this late. He ignored your nervous stammer and pulled up a chair across from you. His presence filled the quiet space, making your pulse quicken. He leaned forward, his tone calm but firm. You were trying to cover everything at once. Narrow it down, focus on the metaphor of identity, use that as your anchor. You blinked at him, caught off guard by his unexpected patience. As he guided you through the paragraphs, pointing out errors and rephrasing your sentences, you noticed something unusual. His voice softened. There was no coldness here, no sharp edge, just quiet dedication. At one point, your fingers brushed as you both reached for the same pen. You froze, pulling back instantly. His gaze flickered to yours for a heartbeat too long before he looked away, clearing his throat. Finish this draft tonight, you will understand the rhythm once you focus. Without another word, he closed the book in his hand and stood, leaving you without your heart pounding and your mind spinning. Why did that feel so different? Days later, you were caught outside after class, the skies opening in a sudden, merciless downpour. Students scattered in all directions, some laughing, some groaning, while you stood frozen near the gate, your back close to your chest. Of course, first day I forget an umbrella. Here. We turned to see Jungkook holding out a sleek black umbrella. His suit jacket was already damp at the shoulders, his hair glistening with raindrops. Professor, I know you'll get wet. I'm already wet. The bluntness of his reply made your lips twitch despite the situation. You hesitated, but he stepped closer, pressing the umbrella into your head. For a fleeting second, his fingers lingered against yours, firm but not intrusive. Go, don't argue. You swallowed, staring at him, and then nodded. As you hurried away under the umbrella, you glanced back once only to find him standing there, watching until you disappeared around the corner. Why does it feel like he's protecting me even when he doesn't even say a word? The tension between you only grew. Every shared glance in class, every accidental brush of hands, every unspoken moment, it all built like static in the air. Until one night it snapped. It happened after another late evening in the library. You had stayed back again, and so had he. The silence was heavier than before, charged with something unnameable. When you finally gathered your courage and whispered, "Why do you always notice me?" he froze, his jaw tightened, his eyes shifting to you with an intensity that made you breathe hitch. For a long moment, he said nothing, then he leaned closer, his voice low. Because no matter how hard I try, I can't ignore you. The confession hung in the air, fragile and dangerous. Your chest ached, torn between the weight of rules and the pull of emotions. But when his hand brushed against yours on the desk, neither of you pulled away. That night marked the beginning of something forbidden. Behind closed doors, Jungkook wasn't the cold, intimidating professor everyone saw. He was quiet but protective, always making sure you ate, always adjusting your back strap when it slipped, always checking if you were tired. His affection wasn't loud or dramatic, it was steady, grounded, and deeply careful. Yet in public, his coolness remained. In class, he was still sharp, still distant. No one suspected the stolen moments. The soft conversations, the way his hand would linger at the small of your back when no one was watching. It's a secret, it has to be, but how long can we keep pretending nothing is there? It didn't happen during an argument nor in anger, it came quietly. Like the slow dimming of a flame, you were sitting together in the library's secluded corner, papers spread between you. He wasn't speaking much that night. His eyes lingered on the books, then on you, then away again, as if he were searching for the right words but couldn't bring himself to see them. Finally, he exhaled and closed the notebook in front of him. Wine, we can't keep doing this. The word struck like a blade, sharp and merciless. You blinked at him, confusion twisting into dread. What do you mean? Did I do something wrong? His gaze softened for the briefest second, but he quickly looked away. No, you have done nothing wrong. That's exactly the problem. You are innocent in all this, and I'm the one putting you at risk. Your hands trembled as you gripped the edge of the desk. At risk, Professor Chung, what are you talking about? He clenched his jaw, the struggle evident in his eyes. If anyone finds out, find us, it won't just be me who suffers. You will be judged, branded. People will whisper things about you that you don't deserve to hear. I won't let that happen. You shook your head quickly, tears stinging your eyes. I don't care what people say, I care about you. Isn't that enough? For a moment, his mask cracked, pain flashing across his face, but he steeled himself, forcing his voice steady. It's not about what you can handle, Wine. It's about what you shouldn't have to handle. You deserve better than a life of secrets and scandals. You deserve freedom, and I can give you that. Your throat closed up. Every part of you wanted to fight, to scream, to cling to him, but his expression told you it was useless. His decision was final. Why does it hurt more? Because he's being so gentle. If he yelled, if he insulted me, I could hate him. But this, when you finally whispered, "So this is goodbye," he looked at you, his eyes gleaming with something raw, something that betrayed how much it tore him apart too. It has to be, and just like that, he stood, walked away, and left you sitting in silence, your heart breaking in the quietest way possible. The days that followed were unbearable. Sitting in his class felt like torture. He was professional, colder than ever, yet you saw it the flicker of softness when his eyes lingered on you too long. The way he paused before asking you a question, as if afraid to push too hard. You noticed how he still cared in hidden ways. When you dropped your notes, he returned them without a word. When you stumbled over an answer, he gave that same subtle note telling you to continue. And once, when another student mocked you, Chunguk's tone turned sharper than you had ever heard, shutting them down instantly. He still feels it. I know he does. Why won't he admit it? Why won't he let himself let us? But no matter how much your heart screamed, he kept the distance, never cruel, never dismissive, but unreachable, like a wall you couldn't climb. Graduation came faster than you expected. The campus lawn was filled with students in caps and gowns, laughter and celebration echoing in the air. Your friends hugged you tightly, Alia crying dramatically as Mina rolled her eyes. Armand teased you about tripping on stage, but your mind wasn't on them. It was on the man standing at the edge of the crowd, black suit, hands in his pockets, eyes on you. For a moment, the noise faded. It was just him and you again, like it always had been. You approached him slowly, your heart racing. He didn't move, didn't speak, until you stood close enough to hear his quiet voice. Congratulations, Wine. You swallowed hard, blinking back the tears that she tend to spill. Is that all you are going to say after everything? His jaw tightened. He looked away for a second, then back at you, his eyes burning with emotions he had tried to bury. Do you think it was easy for me walking away from you every day, every damn day? I wanted to reach for you, but I couldn't. Not when it meant risking everything for you. Your chest ached, but your voice came out steady. Then why are you here now? He hesitated. Then, for the first time in months, the mask slipped. Because I couldn't stop loving you. The confession hit harder than any lecture, any silence, any stare. And before you could think, before fear could stop you, you stepped forward and wrapped your arms around him. This time, he didn't pull away. The day of graduation arrived with a bittersweet ache in your chest. You stood among your friends, laughter and excitement swirling around you, yet your eyes searched for only one person. When Jungkook's gaze finally met yours across the hall, the noise of the words seemed to fade. He didn't speak not at first, but when the ceremony ended, you found him waiting by the old oak tree outside the campus gates. His expression was the same as always, composed, unreadable, yet his eyes betrayed the truth. I tried to let you go, but I never stopped loving you. The weight of you had carried for months dissolved in an instant, replaced by the warmth of knowing he had never truly left you. That day didn't just mark the end of your college years, it marked the beginning of something new. Fragile yet unbreakable bond from both restraint and undeniable love.